So inside this paragraph I would say something like hello, and just a random text. I would say welcome to webdesign.com. Yeah, so I'll say something and just attract the user. So webdesign.com, you can write something when you're making your own site. You can write something like this to attract your user to read more about the content and the history of your website. So I'm going to say just like we are a company specialized in web design, and this is a test paragraph about us. Okay, this is just a random funny text. We are located on somewhere at Earth. Yeah, and we are just a great company, isn't it? I'm just writing a paragraph. We provide a great quality service. Yeah. So definitely when you are creating websites, you should have this text or a dummy text. If you are giving a demo for any company or a person, you should use this dummy text. Okay, so now we have this, our paragraph is there in our website very well right here. Okay, but what if you want to add more margin into this paragraph? I'll go ahead and generate some more text using our favorite website on generating text, which is lipsum.com. So paragraphs or words, I will be generating at around 40 words, which is really small, I guess. So I'll go back and I'll generate at around 100 words, which is still small, but I'll just see it. Okay, so I'll copy this. Lorem ipsum dollar sit amit. I don't know how to speak that language, So after this paragraph, I'll just paste this thing. Yeah, it is right here like this. If you want, you can break this line. You can put these breakers so that you can read for the understanding purpose, so that you can read it really well. Yeah, and also you can have some BR to divide these text like this. Yeah, 2 BRs means you can also put up a space like that. Yeah, so now we have a little bit of a paragraph right there, and we can again write some more paragraphs after this one. So if you want, you can just copy this one and then put up another 2 BRs and make up with a new paragraph, like how I do it. So you can make your own design, you can make your own thing, you can make it as whatever you want, whenever you want. It is called web design. Okay, so I think it is pretty good. So I'll go ahead to this div and give a class to this div, something like about us text. Yeah, so that I can pick this up with style.css about us text. And inside this one, I would simply say text align is justify, so that it would match the right left sides of our div, and it would be cool. Yep, you can see that. The next thing I want to do is, you might have an idea that this this text is like so much near the borders of our website. So for that one, what can you do is you can make a padding, or you can wrap this whole paragraph tag inside a container, which will automatically provide you with margins. Okay, so you can wrap this paragraph with a container, so that that container will contain all the margins from up, down and left and right, so that it would be wrapped. Okay, if I go ahead and refresh, now you can see it is like wrapped with a little bit of a margin from left, top and right and bottom. Yeah, so you can just align this thing using your commands. I told you, the command and square bracket. And even inside this container, we can again say something like we can again go for a div, which is a row. Actually, this paragraph should also be in a row, so we will put this paragraph also in a row, because inside, if there is a container, the bootstrap rule is to that inside the container, if you are going to put some content, then content should definitely be inside a row. That means after a container, a row is definitely needed to be there. So I'll copy this justify text to this row, so only this text would be justified. In this row, what I am going to do is, I will be in this row I'm going to put up another div and divide this row into 2 separate columns, like 6 and 6. Okay, in the mobile version it is just 12, so and in the other versions it is 6. So 12 divided by 2 is 6, so we are going to just divide this into 2 sections. It is 6 and 6 and 6. In the mobile version it is 12, so that it would be taking the full screen of this in the mobile version. Now I will copy this again, so that it is divided into 2 sections right now. Another row is divided into 2 sections, and right here I will say something like some simple text, I would say. and now you can see those things are divided. And now did you see that margin just went, right? Can you see that? The reason for this is when you put a row after a container, then this margin just goes away. So what can you do for this one? See that? When you put a row after a container, this margin goes off. If you delete this row, then again this margin will come up to our paragraph tag. See that? So what can you do to avoid this problem? What can you do? I'll just keep it as it is. So I'll go to about us text, and right here I will be putting up a margin about 5% from everywhere, from top, left and right and bottom. But I think 5 is too big, so I'll be putting up at around 2 pixels, yeah. I think 2 is pretty good to us to have a margin. You can have any margin you want. And in this section, in this row, we have divided this into 2 parts, and it is pretty well, huh? So now we have to center this one as well as to see what this actually does. Okay, so we have to center this text first. So I'll be picking up this class with center text, and right here, if you want to check that whether we have already inserted an element called center text, then you can simply press Command F and search in Visual Studio Code about a text we have entered. If it is not there, you are good to go. So now we have centered the text, and inside this one what I'm going to say is I'm going to have a little bit of a headline. Okay, a headline about something like, let me say, services. Yeah, services we deliver. Some services like software, web, and these kinds of things in the about us would do the work. Yeah. Over here also we would have another headline. It would be something like why to pick up or why to choose us. Yeah, why, the reason behind choosing webdesign.com. We will keep these 2 headlines, and after these headlines we are going to have an unordered list, and inside this unordered list we are going to have 3 list items, which are web design and digital marketing and software development. Okay, so you know, you are very familiar with unordered list. We have been using this in our footer, unordered list and the list item. I think it is pretty great if you have it like that. Yeah, services we deliver, those services, web design, digital marketing and software development. And rather than making this text center, we can even justify this text. So this center text, I will just delete it because I think normal text would be better than centering the text, so that it would be near with the bullet points. So I have to put some space in these services we deliver. So I will just say something like keep margin, a new class I made, a keep margin class. So now I can give this class, I can delete this center text, and then I can go ahead with a keep margin, and I can say the margin left is, the margin is 2% from all sides. Yeah, like that. The margin is 2% from left, right, top and bottom. Now our services we deliver is pretty good, and it is done really well. Yeah, if you want, you can just remove this list type using UL style. Now if you go to list style image, then you can give a URL to the list style image, a image as a bullet type. Okay, so simply if you go ahead here and if you give a URL to this one, and inside this one you have to say quotation mark images raw.png. if you say, and if you save this, go ahead and refresh. Now you can see instead of the bullet points you get this arrow image. Okay, and the other thing I want to emphasize on is that you cannot put double quotation marks. You have to only put single quotation marks right here. That is because the whole thing is already wrapped with the double quotation. If it is so, you cannot put double quotation, then you should use single quotation. If the whole thing was wrapped within a single quotation, then inside it you should use double quotation. Simply you can use the style type to be circle, or you can simply give any image you desire. And again in why to choose us, we are again going for an unordered list, and we are going to have a list item which is something like, let me say 4 years of experience, 4+ years of experience. and another list item to be some sample text, best developers are available with us at webdesign.com, and even another list item which is about 1 year free service. If you are going to make a website normally for financial purposes, which I'll talk in the last video, you also need to get this free service, which I will explain in the last section. And also in this one we have to give a style, which is the list style type is a circle, so that it would match the above section. Yeah. Now I think it is pretty good to see everything like this in a very good manner. Yeah. So about us is pretty good with jumbotrons, carousels, and this about us content. And the next thing what we have to do is we have to copy this footer. We can simply copy this footer from the index.html and we can simply use it in our about us.html. Okay, now you know that end footer is right here, and after end about us you can simply paste end footer. Okay, now you know that these div contents are pretty well. Yeah, so you can just align and indent these items. Yeah, if you copy paste something, definitely indentation is needed. Now if I go ahead and refresh, you can see the footer. If you say the hover color is red, then you can see this footer color would be red. So you can make it as anything you want. I won't bother about that. So for now I will just keep it as default, but if you want you can do this. Okay. So this is again overriding anchor tag element in HTML. Yes. This element is defined by Bootstrap. Not the element is defined, but rather this anchor tag properties are defined, that color should be this and that, but we are overriding that defined set of parameters in Bootstrap. Okay. Now if you go inspect to see how this looks in mobile view, this is terribly wrong. You can see that 6 and 6 is terribly not good, and it is not a good idea. Footer is looking really good still, but this about us content is not really good. This image is not perfect at all, and this text, they are just like squeezed down, and even this image is squeezed down. So we have to find the problem. We have to find some solution for this, and the jumbotron and breadcrumb is still, it is very good, but the other things are not really good. So let's find a solution for this one.